What's up, guys? So I'm just gonna try to do this thing really quick. Um, so just so you guys know, I already uploaded some of the content that I need. So like this is the video that I got from uh, from YouTube. Basically, let me lower this thing down a little bit. It just basically shows the the footage, the carnage that happened, right? So I'm gonna just try to pick out like the best stuff here. Uh, I mean, these images are fine, you know what I mean? So there's a bunch of stuff here. You guys can see see that. So I'm gonna just pick out some of these clips here. Um, I wrote this first, the context on Grammarly, so that way I knew it kind of went with what I was trying to do here. So actually, the first thing that I want to do first is okay. So I want to actually create this. Let's see, where is this? So you go to effects, and then you go to alpha, and then just drop it in here. And then basically what you do is you drop one on right there. There you go. And that's a mask. Hold on. There you go. So it's not inverted. Yeah, you bring down the opacity. There you go. So see that? That's how you do that. And actually, let's do this too. Let's add that so that way this kind of helps you with your guidelines. So again, that's the alpha mask. That's basically all it was, right? And then you just kind of stretch this over here and bring this over here. And then you can bring this one down just a little bit so that way it's a little bit center, right? Okay, so that's your block. That's basically what's going to be on your video right there. And then, so that way when you actually start editing the video, regardless of where you cut or where you edit, that alpha is like right there the entire time, right? Okay, now, then what we want to do is we want to add text to it. And actually, I should have been in editing mode. There's a bunch of different modes up here: learning, assembly, editing, etc., right? So editing is probably the most common thing that we end up using. Uh, Now press T, and that basically allows you to just create like text, right? So then what I do is I go to, so there's a little text thing right here. So if you type something, that's what happens, right? But then what I want to do is I want to see like how this particular thing fits right here. So I'm gonna just take the first line just to kind of like measure it out a little bit, right? And then I'm gonna drop it in. Okay, obviously that's really big, so we don't want that to be too big because then it's not gonna work. So what we can do is we can make it smaller just by dragging that right there, and there you go. So you can just kind of do that, right? And then you can go back to your thing and then press enter and then go back. I mean, you can do this all together. So I'm gonna try to add these two right here just to see how they fit. All right, and then here, just press enter. Okay, so then I feel like it's a lot to read in one paragraph. So maybe what we can do is we can make it, let's try to see if we use maybe the first two only. And then what we do is we'll make that a little bit bigger. we can do this too. Let's see, yeah. So that's a little better, you know, because now if you have that, oh, okay. So this creates a still, by the way. So we want to make that. We want to put that right at the very beginning. We put a lead, adds that there, and then you can remove this so you can read it. All right. So then that thing, these things typically become only for 5 seconds, or they get made for 5 seconds. But here you can make it for 20 seconds if you want it, 15, 10, however long you want it. So then we can read it out loud. It was a week to forget as at least 10 people get to the hospital following a horrific fight between fans from visiting. And then what we can do now is once that changes, see it goes away, then we can do that T again. Select that and click T, and then just click right there. And then that adds that right there, the last wording that we had, right? Or what we can do, which is something even easier, to do this, Control C, right? By selecting this and then Control C and then block this so it doesn't go over, and then Control B, and then that basically goes right there, right? So now you have like your text being about the same size. So then you go to your Grammarly, and then let's see what it's a visiting, right? So then you can do this. Just copy that, and then go here, and then there's that right there. Okay, and then press enter, and then what you can do is you can tack on the next line right here. So you can do these individually. It seems like it's a lot of work, and that's probably because it is, but that's kind of like the way that it goes. So again, this is just the easiest way to go about and do that. We can make this bigger too if we wanted to. Um, you know, Again, I don't know like how legible you guys feel like this is, but you guys can certainly like go about asking me, or doing that, right? So then we do Control C and then Control B, right? So basically, what you want to do first is do the text part of it. So that way you do that. Remember, it's like, so the video you can already edit it on your own, but the text is important because the text is going to change, right? So then this is the next one. So we go here, we lose that, go back to Grammarly, and we can just grab this, and then go back here. Whoop. Nope, that's not it. There you go. Select that. Cool. All right. So we also want to make sure that, yeah, see how there's a lot of space to the left? So we can even move these lines a little bit to the left if we wanted to. But the only problem is that the moment you move one line, then that's when like everything else, gets shifted a little bit. But no, I think this is fine actually. It doesn't look too bad. That one maybe looked a little bad, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. So again, this is like the tedious part really, because you're doing this and you're building these lines, these texts that unfortunately just like take up a lot of time. So then press here, boom. There you go. And then same thing. Just Control C, Control V. Private security. Go back to this. Control V. Boom. And then, let's see, here's one more. So that's why I was trying to make these like 2 lines each, so that way they kind of, you know, are read a lot easier, or actually fit a lot easier. Because what ends up happening is that, hold on a second. There you go, so it's this one. Oh, I think because I had a copy, that's why I didn't go through. But this is all like, the simple, like, Excel type shit, you know what I mean? The copy paste, so. There you go. So I'll do this, boom, boom, and then copy paste the last one, boom. Okay. And then the reason why I do it on Grammarly is because obviously, like, less room for error as far as like typos or things of that nature. All right. So there you go. So, okay, all the texts are done. So as I mentioned, these are like the most important things because the text, like you just have to make sure that you can read it out right. Okay. So if we read it together, it was a week to forget in Liga MX as at least 10 people would be taken to the hospital following a horrific fight between fans from visiting Querétaro and Atlético San Luis in the city of San Luis Potosí. Videos posted on social media from fans in attendance show the confrontations as fans ran and dug during ran for sorry not fans ran and dug for projection or for protection amid the flying beer bottles that were sent out launching as projectiles. So let's read that one again. Confrontations as fans ran and dug for protection amid the flying beer bottles that were sent launching as projectiles. So we can trim probably this one a little bit. All right, and then the next one to do. According to a report from local police, there was damage to 20 private vehicles as well as 10 police cars and 2 from private security. Okay, so we can trim this one just a little bit. One video from a user on Twitter shows the fans being beaten savagely and left unconscious. I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one just for the sake of the video. Just a little bit, okay. And then it is uncertain. Hold on. It is uncertain which group of fans was the instigator. Regardless, this moment is yet another dark chapter of violence in soccer stadiums. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Who is to blame that things got out of hand? The fans, the teams, or the stadium security? All right, so that's it. So again, so that's basically the stuff. All right, so now because again the video itself has this, we already know that this is a good place. So it doesn't matter what we cut or how we cut it. It's all essentially going to fit here, okay? The only part that we just have to make sure that we use a different video is from this one right here. From the user that, this is a separate video. So I'll talk to you guys about that in the next part, okay? So I'm going to stop it right here.